New York prosecutors have indicted Indian billionaire Gautam Adani on bribery charges. They're accusing the Adani Group chief and other executives of hiding illegal payments from US investors. Earlier this year, we spoke with Gautam Adani's nephew, Sagar Adani, who's among those indicted on the US bribery investigation.
And if I may ask, the US DOJ investigation, which has widened of late to figure out whether group-related entities or people have paid some bribes in India. This is a news that Bloomberg had reported. Now, this is a business which comes under your purview. Do you know anything about this?
So we, as a company policy, don't typically respond on legal or quasi-legal matters. We made a public statement about this overall anyways, that if there is even an entity that looks at it, it's in due course of their regular business and their regular interactions. So there's nothing specifically in particular that we have to disclose to the market that's separate or in addition from that.
Let's get some more from our Bloomberg Legal Enterprise reporter, Patricia Hurtado. So, Patricia, this has obviously been in the works for a while. Or what do we know?
Well, we saw a stunning indictment that was unsealed today against Mr. Gautam Adani and 7 other businessmen related to his companies. It's amazing because it spans India to the United States. And it alleges that Gautam Adani paid and his associates paid more than $250 million in bribes to Indian government officials. So that's a domestic action that happens there to obtain lucrative solar energy contracts with the Indian government. But then it's alleged that to market it, he also later they managed to sell off certain bonds and loans to U.S. investors, which is the nexus of how the United States gets into this. So, and then there's an allegation that when the U.S. government came calling to make inquiries, 4 of the co-defendants of Mr. Gautam Adani basically destroyed evidence and are now charged with obstruction of justice when the FBI and the Justice Department came calling.
So where did they come calling, and where did this alleged crime actually take place?
Well, apparently there may have been some discussions with U.S. investigators. It doesn't say exactly where the questioning happened, but it sounds like it was tied to the U.S. Issuers Board of Directors. So there's a fraud scheme that was involved tied to the New York Stock Exchange issuers. There was transactions that were investors bought into Adani-related loans and that were marketed on the stock exchange in a company called Adani Green. And it seems like there's another company involved. So it's quite stunning because it goes from India to the United States.
And in terms of the bribes that are claimed to have been paid, how much money are we talking about here?
We're talking at least $250 million paid to Indian officials, as well as multi-million dollars in the other scheme. They did these things, for example, they did PowerPoint presentations where they kept track of their bribes, and they communicated with each other in WhatsApp presentations and messages, which they tried to delete, but the U.S. government got copies of. So it seems like they have a trove of evidence that they've managed to amass. On the downside, none of these people are in custody, and it's unclear whether the Indian government would ever move to extradite them to the United States to face prosecution.